Hello friends, my name is Kalyani Umrani. I run an international institute and a salon by the name Impression International Academy and Impression Hair and Beauty Clinic in Pune city, which is in India. I always wanted to inspire my community by adding some value to their life. These COVID and lockdown times was a wonderful opportunity to help people aspire and inspire to do more in their lives. When I gave a deep thought on how can we go ahead with it, there were many successful people who came into my mind, who inspire me personally and professionally. So I planned a lot of live sessions and these success talks to inspire my community. So here we are today with someone who is influential personality with lots of knowledge and experience in the field of beauty therapy. Today, it's my honor and privilege to welcome the Global President of Cidesco International. And I welcome you, Sandy Furh.
Thank you so much, Kalyani. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. Now, let me introduce Sandy in brief. Sandy is a qualified beauty therapist since 1982. She has achieved a Cidesco Beauty Therapy Diploma in 1991. She is currently franchisor of 12 beauty and spa campuses in Africa, ranging from southern tip of Africa up to Nigeria. In 2006, Sandy was awarded Regional Business Achiever Entrepreneur of the Year with Nedbank Businesswoman Association. She has been a board member and past president of South African Association of Health and Skincare Professionals for the past 20 years, being the Cidesco South Africa section. She is an Cidesco examiner as well and travels all over the world to examine beauty therapy, spa and aromatherapy exams. She has attended more than 15 international congresses around the world as a delegate, speaker, and a Cidesco International board member. Thank you, Sandy, for what all you are doing and what all you have done. Your opening remarks.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to join with you. I might be sitting in South Africa and you're in India, but we are so well connected these days. It doesn't matter where we are in the world, but I think what's really important is that we share our knowledge, and regardless of the position that we are in, where you are in your progress in your career or where you are in the world. So thank you
Absolutely.
again.
Pleasure. Let me ask you about your journey, how you started. Were you inclined towards beauty industry from your childhood, or like how you started?
Right. It's actually quite an interesting story because I have an older sister and she was very interested in makeup and beauty. She used to do my makeup and my hair and my nails for me as a child or teenager. And I showed very little interest, but when I came to the end of my schooling years, I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. So my mom suggested that perhaps I go into the beauty industry, which was, anyway, so I thought, well, let me give it a try and I'll just go and do this quickly and I'll see how I enjoy it. And I was hooked, completely and absolutely hooked from day one.
Wow.
So I've been in the beauty industry since I left school, but in different levels. What happened is when I was in my last year of school, it's called grade 12 in South Africa, I won a prize, and it was a book prize.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to a bookshop to purchase a book, which they would hand over to me as a prize. And I found a book which was on beauty subjects, because by then I was already quite interested, knowing I was going to study that. And I took the book back to my teacher because he needed to sign it. And he said to me, "What is this? What kind of book is this that you're giving me with pornography with naked women?" I said, "But it's not naked women. They're covered up." And there were women having massages and doing massage lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But he was so ignorant in those days to the beauty industry. In those days, the beauty industry in my city, I come from Cape Town in South Africa, there was 2 beauty salons. So it was a completely new revolutionary industry that nobody knew about. And he couldn't understand what I would be buying a book with women's bodies and having massage. And look where we are today. I mean, now everybody knows about beauty and massage and makeup.
I think it could have been the same situation in India that time because salons were
Right.
not that popular. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also regarded that only stupid people entered the beauty industry. If you were not clever enough to go to university, then you went to go and study beauty therapy. And so that was part of the thing for me where I thought maybe it'll be a short course that I do and then I will go into university. But it was difficult. I had to learn the whole anatomy and physiology and chemistry and physics and business studies and cosmetic science and hygiene and sterilization. It was so much more than I ever imagined. And it's definitely not for stupid little girls to do.
I'm surprised and I'm shocked because that was the same situation in India for years. And it was like if the girl can't do anything, put her for a beauty course.
Exactly.
And it was there in South Africa too. So we share the same vibe. I think the country shares the same vibe.
That's
Surprising.
exactly what I said when I started.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where we are in the world. We are so connected. It's unbelievable how
Absolutely.
we didn't have internet in those days. We didn't have the way to communicate. But everywhere in the world, the message was the same. So
Yeah.
it's so fascinating.
That's great. So, what were your challenges while you started your first center, the beauty center, and then reaching to those 12 centers? How was the journey?
So when I started my first school, I'd been in the beauty industry for quite a long time already, but I'd reached a stage where I was 33. I knew I wanted to go into education because I had been teaching in a college before and I had been a principal at a college before, but I didn't have the finances.
Okay.
I was married with 1.5 children. I was very pregnant with my second child.
Mhm.
I really wanted to have my own school, but what happened is I was at the time on the board of the Cidesco section in South Africa,
Okay.
and we inspected salons for standards and quality. So they asked me, being in Cape Town, they asked me to go and inspect a particular salon. I went to a salon. We call them beauty salons in South Africa. They could be beauty
Mhm.
centers, clinics. I went to a salon, and the owner of the salon, she said to me, "I've got this big room here. It's
Mhm.
got 3 beds, 3 chairs, 3 trolleys. Do you know anybody who would want to rent the space from me?" She said, "Because I don't have the use. It's just a very big room." So I
Oh,
went back to my then husband and I sat down and I wrote a 1-page document to her. And I said, "I'd love to use your room to do training, but I'm afraid I don't have the financial means to pay you. Can I please pay you 20% rent of all the income that I get in? Please may I borrow all your beds, the trolleys, the chairs. Please may I borrow some towels? And please, if you don't mind, my baby will be born when I start. Do you mind if there's somebody there to help me to look after her while I'm teaching?
mhm.
Oh, and please may I borrow your steamer and your lamp? And oh, if you don't mind, do you have a wax pot that I could borrow?"
Okay.
I put this all on a piece of paper because I had no financial support at that time. My husband wasn't working, I wasn't working. I was about to have a baby, and she just said yes. So
Wow.
I had my baby. 4 weeks later, took her in a pram with a borrowed car to the property, and I started teaching student number 1. But what I did that was different to anywhere else in South Africa was I started to introduce what we call modules, the individual units.
All right.
Because in South Africa at the time, you had to be in existence for 2 years before you could apply to become a Cidesco school.
Okay.
So I had to show that I had a proven track record, my own business, for 2 years before I could say I'm offering a Cidesco course. So I
Mhm.
started the short courses, and that is what took my business to the next level. So it was me on my own with my baby. And then after about 6 months, I was getting so busy with just doing short courses. And then we relocated, and I bought my first 2 beds, first 2 chairs, and my first 2 trolleys.
So
So each time I
inspiring.
made money, I put it aside, took the money, and bought my first pieces of equipment. And then I got somebody to work for me half day. Then she was full day. Then I got another half day person, and she became full day. And slowly but surely, one step at a time. So I always say to people that if I can do it, for starting with absolutely nothing, anybody can do it. Because it's a complete sheer dedication to
Absolutely.
what you do, which makes it rise up to where it can be. And so what we did is, I've had my schools now for 24 years. And I could have carried on with the one school. I ended up with a school in Cape Town where I had 4 classrooms with 20 students in each classroom. So it was really big first year students, second year students, third year students, and part-time courses. What I did is one of my lecturers moved to Johannesburg, which is like the main city in South Africa.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she wants to open a beauty therapy institute college in Johannesburg. So I said to her, no, I'm too much of a control freak. I need to know what's going on. And she said, but it's me. She studied with me. She worked for me for 10 years. And she was almost like a daughter. So I said to her, okay, let's give it a try. So we sat down and we worked out a kind of a franchise agreement. And that was our first school that we started in Johannesburg. And now we're opening number 13 tomorrow.
Wow.
Yes,
Lovely.
and there are most of them are franchise schools, but I still own a few schools myself, but I function as franchisor to the group of all the schools. We have 38 staff now. Yeah.
Lovely. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, I
Awesome.
mean, it's as simple
Yeah.
as if I can do it, then others can do it as well. From nothing, you can make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. I can resonate with you because I also started from scratch, and it was giving me goosebumps when I was listening to you. I was 17 when I started.
Wow, that's
But
fantastic.
I can relate to your story. Amazing, amazing. So now, what are the challenges, for starting a center in Africa, or maybe you discussed about the challenges, but to make this 12 or to multiply, it's not the same effort, or it's not the same knowledge what you carry forward and you do the second or third. We need more
Mm.
refined knowledge. We need more systems in place. So what is your call on it? How you did it?
I think you have to find the right people. Your
Mhm.
people are your business. Because I can't be in all 13 campuses every day, of course,
Yeah.
I need to have the right principals, the right educators running that business. And what we've done is we make sure that we have a reason for being, or a proper purpose of being in existence. And
Mhm.
that is all about the students. So for us, it doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. The student is number one. Your student is your client. You make sure that you will service that client to the best of your abilities. So having that philosophy, we developed a quality management system.
Okay.
And that's in simple languages, policies and procedures on how to do everything. So if you're going to be moving a student from one college to another, how do
Mhm.
you do it? What is the policy? And making sure that that policy is in place for the student,
Right.
not for the school. It's not all about the school, because if the student is happy, the school will be good.
Absolutely.
If my staff are well trained, well educated, well nurtured, well looked after, they're going to look after my student.
Absolutely.
So I feel that the student is the most important person, not me. I always say to my team, don't look at me. I'm the last one in the line. You look to your students. You make sure your students are taken care of, because then I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be happy. And it's not from the top down, it's from the bottom up. It's a complete reverse of business philosophy, business culture, business attitude, where you make sure that the most important person is who you would not normally think.
Very right, very true. Putting like the other person ahead of you and then thinking about the business. Absolutely amazing. These were like the golden nuggets for anybody who want to prosper in any kind of profession. I think teaching being such a noble profession, we have to, think about the student first. Absolutely bang on. And how would you express importance of education in one's life? Because what I'm listening is you are not just a therapist, or you have been a hardcore teacher, you know so how important is education in anybody's life?
I think we have to have some form of education in order to move forward in our lives. So I think as a parent, it is something very, very important to instill in your children's world. They must go through schooling knowing that they need to get something further, and that it's a pathway. It doesn't have to be the biggest, the best, the most fantastic qualification in the beginning, but that there's a continual learning pathway. I still attend seminars, I still read professional books, I still make sure that I attend webinars, whatever it is that's possible. I go to congresses every year, and I make sure that I learn something every single year. I might not get a qualification every year, but that continual knowledge, particularly in our industry. Our industry is growing so fast. It is unbelievable. Every day there's new technology, there's new learning, there's new offerings. If I had to keep teaching today what I learned when I finished school, it would be dangerous.
Absolutely.
It would be dangerous. If I hadn't kept up to date, I wouldn't be able to offer my students, my most important people, to be able to offer them the latest courses. So I make sure that I bring into the school all the latest technology.
That's great. That's great. And how did your Cidesco journey started? Like you were the PR, the board member, and you headed the association. Now taking care of one academy to the multiple academies, and the journey with managing so many things with two children. So how was this all about? How you started with?
So when I trained, it wasn't a Cidesco qualification.
Okay.
It was in South Africa, it was trained according to the standards of a French qualification. So when I finished, I came out with a piece of paper with French writing all over. I couldn't understand anything, but it was all in French. And it was, I've got a French qualification from South Africa. So that's fantastic. That managed to hold me through the first 10 years of my career, working in beauty salons, becoming a personal trainer. Then when I went into teaching, when I wanted to go into teaching, I was given a promotion. I was working for a very large company. I was given a promotion from working as therapist to manager of the salon. Okay. Then they asked me if I would come to work at the head office to run the beauty salons in South Africa. At the time, there were 12. When I left, we had 16. And also to run the beauty school. Oh. But in order to run the beauty school, I had to have Cidesco qualification. So there I was in September, and I had to do my Cidesco qualification in October. Oh. At Cidesco school. And I'd studied 10 years ago. Well, I was like, books, people, contacting everybody, just learning frantically. And I did my Cidesco exam, and I got my postgraduate Cidesco beauty therapy qualification.
In 1 month?
In 1 month. I had to quickly get everything back together. I don't know how I did it because I was still working full time. But then I had my Cidesco qualification, and that enabled me to go and work at that, in that position, which was in those days a very well respected, well paid position, because as we all know, in the beauty industry, you don't get paid so well. So I was really driven to get this qualification. So now I had beauty therapy qualification, and I was able to join the Cidesco section. So I joined the Cidesco section and put my name forward as a board member for Cidesco section South Africa. The first year I put my name forward, I was not accepted. I was devastated. Oh, I was so upset, and I thought I'm never going to apply again, but I did. The next year I applied again, and I became the board member. I at the time held the PR position. I did PR mostly for Cidesco section South Africa. I then went to vice president, and I became president of the section. When I stepped down from president of the section, there was a PR position on the board of Cidesco International. So I applied for that. What had happened is the previous PR board member had stepped down. So I had to put somebody, they had to put somebody in, so I put my name forward. And I got the position on the board of Cidesco International. That I did for 8 years. And then applied last year to become president, and I was elected. So one step at a time. But Cidesco gave me the ability to take it international, to take it to the next level. If I had not done my Cidesco qualification, I would not be sitting with you today in this meeting.
So continuous professional development, continuous education, and every day matters is what Sandy wants to tell us.
And don't always try. Try, even if you think you're going to fail. Give it a try. Go back again if you did fail. Don't give up. Look for those dreams and just go for them.
I think this is what is needed for every successful person who's starting, or maybe who's reached what he wanted to reach. Amazing, amazing. So, Sandy, how do you see India as a growing section of Cidesco? What can we do best to promote Cidesco here in India? And please guide us on the opportunities, because there are so many Indians who want to work abroad. Like they travel with their spouses, somebody wants to go on cruise. So how are the opportunities and how they can work globally?
Right. So if I go back even 4 years to what the Cidesco India looked like, is a very different picture to Cidesco in India today.
Yeah.
And I think that's with great thanks to Maya.
Yes.
The late Maya Pranjapia, she's really a very powerful role to play. And of course, Ms. Seema Gobuchka, she also has made an incredible step with ABTC, with Cidesco in India. We had the Cidesco Congress in India, I think it was 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Mumbai.
And it was hosted together with Professional Beauty. That also, I think, gave Cidesco in India a big jump
boost
into being recognized in India. We then brought Jacqueline Kennedy into India to assist to upskill educators, the Indian section educators, so that they could also then become Cidesco International examiners. And this was, we have on our board Mr. Biju Nair, who is our finance director. He's just been re-elected on Friday to stand another 4 years with us on finance, which I think having Biju on the position from India as well also helped us to identify and acknowledge that India is a very, very important section, an important player. That the East, we have to be very, very aware of what is happening in India, because I think you're the future of the world. You've got so much to contribute. You've got a huge population, but there's a lot of movement from India to other parts of the world.
Yes.
The Indian therapist needs to have an international qualification in order to be able to move globally. And as I said I would never have been able to do it without a Cidesco qualification. If you don't have a Cidesco qualification in India, you need to seriously consider doing your postgraduate examinations, or even the makeup, aromatherapy, spa therapy. There's so much to offer. To have as much as you possibly can so that you can move out into the rest of the world.
True. Yes. So amazing. And the best part is today's ABTC completes 25 years. So what an
I
incredible
just
day.
saw that. I saw that today. I
Yes.
just saw that on Facebook on ABTC. 25 years is fantastic.
Yes. And it's all
That is
Maya Thai who started. And now
Maya.
a team is taking it ahead with Seema ma'am.
Yes.
And
Yes.
amazing. So you are one more center starting tomorrow, today 25th. It's like we are into a celebration mode.
Yes. It's a big celebration work today and tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Very good.
So
Congratulations, ABTC. That's unbelievable.
uh,
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
Now, Cidesco is largely known in beauty community. However, general population is not much aware about Cidesco. So what can we do about it? Because India is full of millennials now, and everybody wants to have something. A certificate actually sells in India. Everybody wants a certification.
Mm.
So so how can we do that?
I think awareness, community awareness
Mm-hmm.
starts in order to educate the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So the more the beauty community educates themselves with Cidesco, they will talk Cidesco to their clients. The consumer is the end person for us. If you think about, we study, or we apply to study beauty therapy. We study beauty therapy. We work as a therapist. On who? We're working on a consumer, on a client.
True.
That person in a salon is the most important person, right?
Right.
Not the therapist, not the owner of the salon. It is the client.
Right.
So they need to educate the clients about the qualifications they've undertaken of this high standard of qualification, so that the client looks for a Cidesco graduate, looks for a Cidesco accredited beauty clinic or spa or
Absolutely.
school, so that they know. I think you were talking about the millennials. Social media
Yeah.
presence has to be huge. You've got to be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever's going on at the moment. You have to have a presence. YouTube channels, you've got to be there. You need to educate the consumer as much as possible about looking for quality and looking for standards. Because if they don't, they're going to go into anywhere. How many salons are there around the corner? They need to look for that credibility in order to be sure that they get the best treatment possible.
All right. So it starts with the consumer awareness, talk to more people, be on social media, and talk more about Cidesco. That is what Sandy would like to suggest. Would you believe that mapping Cidesco to national qualification framework of India, a real possibility and something worth exploring?
So I'm not sure in India, some international qualifications cannot be seated on the national qualification framework
Okay.
because it's NQF, National Qualification Framework. So on the framework will only be national examinations. If the NQF in India enables Cidesco to be there, like in South Africa, we allow it.
Okay.
But that's only because we've pushed and pushed and pushed that they got tired of us and they said, okay, we'll put you there. That you can put this international qualification on the national qualifications framework, so that when the student studies at Cidesco qualification, they at least get their points and their credits for continual learning. I think that's a very important, but what you can do in the meantime is map the beauty therapy qualification, map the skincare certificates, map the aesthetics, the body certificates, aromatherapy, map it against your national qualifications to see the integration, to see where you fit. I'm sure Cidesco will be higher, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
that's okay.
If Cidesco falls below, that's not so okay, because we
Yeah.
need to make sure that we're there or above,
Yeah.
or positioned where the other beauty therapy qualifications are, or position it above,
Yeah.
so that we know where the Cidesco qualifications are seated in line with India's qualifications.
Absolutely. I think we lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with good connect.
Did
Yeah.
you get everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, would you believe launching Cidesco scholarship through Section India could help generate strong goodwill in India?
I, I can only see positive from something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We in South Africa and in other countries around the world, because I'm dealing with about 48 countries. We have sections in 29 countries, but we have examinations in about 48 countries around the world. If I have a look and I see what's happening in other parts of the world, many countries offer scholarships.
Okay.
Now, if there is a scholarship from the section, that is the section needs to work on how they would manage that. Whether they liaise scholarships through your skills development levy in your country,
Country.
so they can be the conduit, they can be the organization that gets funding from the government and passes it through to Cidesco schools,
Mm-hmm.
to the students, to the Cidesco students.
Okay.
That I think would be absolutely fantastic, because I'm sure there's a lot of young girls and boys
Yeah.
who would love to do spa therapy, beauty therapy, but they don't have the funds, they don't have the money. And
Absolutely.
they might be excellent at what they do, but just because they don't have money, does that mean they can't do the course?
Mm.
To me, knowing from where I came from, where I had to borrow everything and build myself up, I feel very much for those who don't financially have the ability to study themselves.
Sure.
So if they could get the opportunity to study through a scholarship, prize one,
Good.
excellent.
So we should definitely take it ahead.
If you can, if the section is interested to be the conduit, yeah.
Yeah. India is a makeup nation, as you know. How about keeping an annual makeup event in India and awards given by Cidesco? This could be a huge draw of for many towards Cidesco. What do you think about it?
I'd love it. Absolutely love the idea. I think if we have to speak to Ma'am Seema
Shiva ma'am.
and the team, the ABTC president as well, I'm sure. Oh, so sorry. I'm sure she will be very happy to do something like that. So we do it in some countries. I'll use as an example China. They have every year they have competitions, and then we will sign some certificates for the section. So there is an opportunity for us to even be there. You could even, excuse me, bring in a Cidesco board member.
Mm-hmm.
You could bring in Jacqueline Kennedy, our business development officer, into India to present the prizes.
So my next question is: you've been working with a lot of nations, like lot of sections and countries. What is the experience? What opportunities you see, and how you amalgamate it together? For the growth of Cidesco. Just few
Mm.
things you can share.
I think for Cidesco International, we need to look to every country and find out what their requirements are. So the plans for Cidesco going forward, we have a very, very big strategic plan, which we've just proposed to our sections.
Okay.
New product development is essential. We need to bring into the countries the different individual skills that we currently don't cover in beauty therapy.
Okay.
So that is very important, is product development. Assisting our sections to
Mm-hmm.
support their community. So giving them or helping them to support the salon, the spa, the schools,
Okay.
the individual members. So
Mm-hmm.
finding ways for them to be able to give benefits to those members to be able to help them to grow as an individual and to grow their businesses. So those are two very important goals that we have going forward.
Okay.
So, and we've head down, focused, and that is what we are concentrating on at the moment.
Lovely. So we're looking forward for more modules and more
Yes.
things from Cidesco.
Watch this space.
Watch this space for
Did
sure.
you do the hygiene and sterilization one?
All lots. I from my institute we did 450 certifications.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think from India we had over 10,000
Yes,
doing
yes.
that
Everybody is
certificate.
working really well. Yeah. And we did
Lovely.
it
It's
in
fantastic to see.
a lot of local languages trainings. So that,
Okay,
boosted a lot of people to come in. So that was wonderful.
excellent.
And thanks to
Wonderful.
this lockdown,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thanks to lockdown and COVID times because we could reach so many people.
That's it. More than you would ever do before.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
the best part of this COVID situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Then just one more question, as in how many Cidesco degrees one needs to work globally? Like as you said, uh, take a Cidesco degree and start, working somewhere globally. So there's so many modules. So what one should look for?
Start with one. Always start in the beginning.
Yeah.
It starts from your first step. I mean, if you think of when you were born, it was a slow process to be able to sit, to be able to crawl, to be able to walk. It's the
Mm.
same thing. Slowly but surely, one step at a time, you cover and you grow and you develop. So you start with what you're most passionate about. So if
Okay.
it's makeup that you're most passionate about, you start there. And from there, you add on. If it's beauty therapy, you start there. Or if it's only body, you start
Mhm.
there. Or spa therapy, standalone. If you know you want to work in a spa and specialize in body treatments and massage, you do spa therapy. I always say to my students, like, what is the most important thing? What makes you most excited when you wake up in the morning? If you think of all these beauty things that we do, which is the first one? And that's where you go.
Okay, that's amazing. That's easy to, find out the niche. Yes. And what would be the message to the youngsters of India or people who want to, have a career in this beauty sector? Your message to them.
My message to the millennials and the Z generation, everybody, even working women, because
Mhm.
a lot of working mums go into the beauty industry because they can work and be a parent at the same time. My message my message to them is to get at least your first proper qualification and then start with your career, one skill at a time, because you can't go out to work without your qualification.
Absolutely.
That to me is a big concern around the world. There are a lot of therapists working, and I know in India as well, working without a proper qualification. If you've been working in a beauty salon without a proper qualification, you can risk something with your client. So we suggest that if you have been working without a qualification, go and do your postgraduate beauty therapy or postgraduate qualification. Because, because you didn't do it when you studied, it's okay. You can still pick it up and go and get your proper qualification.
Yeah.
And that's the good news, is that with Cidesco, you don't have to do it when you're 17 or 18 years old. You still have the opportunity later on in life to be able to do this examination as a postgraduate person. All you need is 3 years. All you need is 3 years work experience, and then you can do that.
Absolutely. Work experience and that need and that urge to grow in life, I think. Because with
Absolutely.
one Cidesco degree comes so many opportunities.
So many.
I did my Cidesco in 1999, just after
Wow.
my graduation. But I can see the way I've grown after Cidesco is what I know.
Yes, you maybe your academy. I'm sure you Cidesco is a very big attraction into
Yeah.
your academy,
Yes.
because the students coming in know that they're going to leave with a proper qualification.
And it
Yeah, and
makes
you're
me
the role model. It starts with you.
yeah,
You're the role model for your students. You are the person they aspire to.
absolutely.
Well, if you can do this, then I want to be like you. You're the mentor. So I think if you showcase to them, even qualified therapists, if you showcase to your clients, to your students, that you've got those qualifications, it makes it aspirational.
True. Very.
Mm, very
Thank you,
good.
Sandy. And it was so wonderful connecting with you.
And you. And lovely. We would have seen you in Indonesia, because we
Absolutely.
see you every, we connect every year, but this year
Yes,
is what it is. And next year we'll
yeah,
see you in Indonesia, I'm sure. Will you
surely.
come next year?
Yes, I'm going to come to
11th,
Indonesia.
excellent. 11th to 14th of August, Indonesia.
Oh, it's the dates are out. That's great.
Dates are out, 11th to 14th of August. We look forward to seeing you
Great.
and your students and anybody, because it's so close for you.
Very close.
How
Yeah.
long is how long is a flight from
Not more than 3 to 4 hours, I think.
excellent.
Yeah.
I've got to go. And I've got 2 long flights to take me there. So, and it's different time zones. It's fantastic for you to be able to be there. So we look forward to sharing you in some Cidesco education in August next year.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, just use whatever you can with our webinars
Yeah.
to connect and to be able to take the information back to your team, your staff as well.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so
Excellent.
much, Sandy, for whatever work you are doing.
Thank
So
you.
commendable. And thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you for your energy. I can feel the energy here right now
Can
as
you? Good.
motivated me so much to do.
Uh, Absolutely. I'm so passionate about what I do all these years later. So just keep it up and showcase Cidesco for us
Thank
in
you
India.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. It
you.
was pleasure hosting you.
Thank you. Lovely to be with you, Kalyani.
So see you next year. Bye.
See you then. Bye.